Yeah, so the amateur Deathball Repeater has a couple cool technologies. The first that I'll mention is that it is permanently linked via Jeff's commercial microwave link down into the Eugene area using voice over IP protocol. It's linked to a repeater above Springfield. We call it the Thurston Hills Repeater. And that repeater covers for a handheld up to the city of Vida and all the way out past Veneta. So the first cool thing with Deathball is that as an amateur radio operator, you can operate on a handheld from Belknap Hot Springs out west of Veneta on those two repeater systems. They're tied together. So you talk into one, you can have another person you're talking to on the other repeater. We actually used this system last night on our way up. We were driving and we were so far away that we couldn't talk on the same repeater, but because the repeaters were linked, Jeff was ahead of me on Deathball and I was behind on Thurston Hills. So that's one cool thing that's on those repeaters. From more of a social aspect, the Deathball repeater and the Thurston Hills repeater together link into a number of nets. A net is a meeting on the air. You can think of it as just an audio-only Zoom call. Amateur radio operators have nets weekly. These are good opportunities to practice radio and to talk about topics that a lot of us have common interests in. So Deathball connects on Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, Friday nights to a net that has different topics of discussion. The cool thing is that if you have a GMRS radio from MCC, they've programmed Deathball Amateur into the radio. You can listen to those meetings on the air on the amateur side. You can't talk back because you don't have the license, but you can listen to those nets. So on Tuesday nights, there's a technical net. We talk about amateur radio technical questions people ask. Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., we talk about digital radio. So Arden is a part of that, digital voice modes, packet, all kinds of interesting things. Thursday nights, we specifically only talk about mesh networking, which is what John's been talking about here. And on Friday nights, it's not related to amateur radio at all, but it's called the Aerospace Net. We talk about all kinds of cool things related to space and atmospheric conditions. The Aurora Borealis last Friday was a point of strong talk for that. That was kind of cool. More emergency or disaster preparedness related, the Deathball Repeater and the Thurston Hills Repeater have NOAA weather alerts. So if there's a NOAA weather alert issued for this area, those repeaters will say that there's an alert once per hour. Or if someone's using the repeater, it will say in the tail every 20 minutes that there's an active NOAA weather alert for the area. And for amateur radio operators, it's called DTMF. It's where you use your number pad. You can tell the repeater to tell me the full listing. It will read out to you the full NOAA weather alert. And when the weather alert is initially issued, the repeater will actually list that whole thing out. So we'll talk for like a minute and a half of all the text that NOAA has sent out for the region. So Deathball does lower foothills of Lane County and Lane County Cascades, which is relevant to this area. And then for Thurston Hills, it does lower foothills of Lane County and South Willamette Valley, because that's the footprint that repeater has. One last thing I'll mention is that both those repeaters have a technology called auto patch. This is the ability to make a phone call either to the mesh phone system or to the public telephone system. So you can dial using your radio. Let me turn it on first. And now I can make a phone call. And I'll hang that up real quick. Because that system is sitting on Jeff's internet system, Elevate's internet system, and the fact that that site is completely detached from all the copper and fiber lines that run up and down your valley that's strung up above the road, and the first tree that falls across that 30 miles of road knocks that whole system out, right? That happens multiple times per year. So this system, because it's at Deathball and it uses that RF link, that double RF link that Jeff talked about, is very robust and is completely separate from the infrastructure down here in the valley, so it will still be able to work. But again, these are amateur radio features, so you have to be licensed for that. Do you have something?